This video demonstrates how you can create 4D animations in Synchro Pro. The first step is to go to Navigator Animations and right-click Add a new animation. Let's call this Sample Animation. With the newly created animation selected, let's go to the Windows tab and load the Animation Editor window. This window contains a camera channel and a focus time channel aligned to a timescale. To create a basic animation, we can capture the beginning of the project at the start of the focus time channel, and then capture the end of the project around the 30 seconds mark on the timescale. By default, Synchro will linearly interpolate the change in time between these 2 points. Let's play the animation and see how it looks. Notice how the camera remains static throughout the animation. Let's try and change that. We can capture the camera position of a 3D view by clicking on the camera channel of the animation editor at the desired location relative to the timescale. Let's play the animation and see how it looks now. Again, Synchro will by default interpolate the change in camera positions linearly between the 2 points. We can drag 2 keyframes closer to each other in any of the channels to speed up the change in time or camera movement that's happening in between. Let's try that in the focus time channel. We can play the animation now and see that time moves twice as fast. Let's try bringing back the second keyframe to the 30-second mark, then adding a new keyframe in the middle and bringing this one closer to the beginning of the animation. We now notice that time moves much faster at the beginning of the animation and then slows down. This can be used to speed up parts of the animation where the activities do not require as much attention from the stakeholders. You can also change the interpolation type between 2 focus time keyframes from line to step. This will create an immediate jump in time from the first keyframe to the next rather than a linear interpolation. Let's try this in our sample animation. Now let's remove these 2 middle focus time keyframes and try adding some camera movements. The new animation looks nice, but we may want to try a different interpolation type between the 2 fast camera movements. Let's try a step interpolation. Notice how the camera now jumps between these 2 keyframes from one view to the next. Now let's try a curve interpolation type and see what happens. Note that you can also use a custom drawn 3D path for the camera movement, or use a turntable effect. For the turntable interpolation type, you will first have to select a 3D object from the 3D view to rotate about. Let's select a 3D object from the middle tower. We can then specify the rotation degrees, the direction, and watch a live preview before clicking on OK. The speed of the rotation is determined by the distance between the 2 keyframes. Now we will look at exporting the animation as an AVI video. Right-click on the animation name and click on Export AVI. Synchro will ask if you want to deselect any selected objects so that they won't be highlighted in the animation. Now we can define all the resolution and duration characteristics of our video, the compression codec, as well as whether or not we want to export a sequence of images or a video. In the Content tab, we can set the layout of our animation. We can add a Gantt chart on top, for example, and then resize that, or hide the Gantt chart and add a timeline instead. We can also add the 3D legend, the focus time, or an image, for example your company logo. Note that you can also add multiple 3D views in your animation if you have them loaded in Synchro Pro. In the Rendering Options tab, you can enable different rendering effects that can be individually tweaked and customized in the Synchro Options menu. You can then go back to the Content tab and preview the effects you've chosen. Here's an example animation exported directly from Synchro.